Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Extend Your Applications with Advanced Chatbots workshop. I hope everyone is doing well, staying safe, and socially distancing. My name is Priscila Iruela. I am a database business development leader, part of the Oracle team, and I will be your guide and presenter for today's workshop. I am very excited to show you some innovative technologies that you can take advantage of, such as Apex using autonomous databases and Oracle Digital Assistant. But first, let me introduce some folks that are helping with today's workshop. You will see presentations from me, Priscila Iruela, and Victor Martin, Principal Cloud Engineer. And we also have several panelists who will be answering your questions behind the scenes. Melanie and Rob are principal sales consultants as part of the Oracle Solution Center team in Oracle. Ettore is head of developer marketing for EMEA. Roberto and Steve are principal business development managers, part of Oracle EMEA. Bo is product manager director from the Apex team. Rosanna is senior cloud specialist from the SC Hub, and Rana and Satyan are Oracle cloud specialists from the SC Hub too. So thanks to all of you for your support. Here is the agenda for today. We will start after this introduction with lab number 1 and number 2, the steps for provisioning your autonomous transactional processes and Apex. These labs will kick off with a pre-recorded presentation to give you the most info in the shortest amount of time as possible. And then we will get hands-on experience following the presentation. After you have time to provision your instances, we will give you an overview of what Digital Assistant is, introducing lab number 3, number 4, and number 5, where again, you will get hands-on experience to complete these labs. At the end, we will give a short recap and next steps that we did not have time to cover during this workshop. We are going to spend approximately 2 hours together, and you will give enough time for each step to complete all the labs. If you don't complete them, don't worry, the environment will be available for you after the labs. At the end, you are using a trial environment, and it's your environment, so you can use it wherever you like. So please, work on the exercises at your own pace. If you don't finish them, we will be here to support you today until 5 p.m. And additionally, you can send us email that we will share at the end of the presentation. Before today's session, you were sent a registration email with the request to complete some prerequisites. I will start a short poll now to see if you have completed the prerequisites. If you have done it, that's great. If you're not, you are going to do that in today's session, and your answers in the poll will allow us to allocate some time for those that haven't done it before. So you have the poll in the screen right now. So please, if you can take a few seconds to answer, will be very useful for us. So a few people already answer. So a few more seconds for you to give me the information and allocate as more time as possible for you guys. Okay, so thank you so much for answering. In the chat section, I am sharing the guide with the exercises that will be used. So please download it and have it ready beside you. You have as well the bit.ly link in the screen, or you can access to the labs using the QR code that we are providing there. Just as a reminder, if you have any question, please just post them in the QI section, not in the chat, and one of our panelists will answer. Please remember to put all the information in one question and include any information that is relevant for us to help you answering the question, right? Especially the page and step number in the lab guide during an exercise, so we can support you properly. I just want to remind everyone to please read and carefully follow every step in the lab, and please do not skim. Each step is required for your lab to work properly. And if your lab is not working, then please check to ensure you have followed every step before posting a question in the Q&A section. So, okay, let's get started. Lab 1 and 2 cover setting up autonomous databases and Oracle Application Express workspace creation. Let's first take a look at the video on the different steps. So this video will take around 4 minutes, so see you live in 4. Hi everyone. I've been helping customers to understand technologies such as autonomous databases and Application Express, and which benefits can add more value to our customer businesses. I want to cover briefly what autonomous transactional data processing database is and how you can create applications using a low-code development tool, Apex, in the most effective way. Autonomous databases is a new concept of databases that Oracle has in the market. The individual components of the autonomous databases together enable the self-driven, self-repairing, and self-securing capabilities of the autonomous database. In addition, autonomous database eliminates complexity for the developers. This workshop has been created for you, developers. Fastest time to usage, rapid provisioning, online elastic scaling, no DBA support required for, performance tuning, patching, and cloning, one database service for all developers requirements, relational, JSON, spatial, graph, text, etc., RESTful database access, Apex for low-code application development, self-driven database for developers, creates mission-critical scale-out database in minutes, automates all monitoring, management, and tuning, eliminating database maintenance, allows customers to focus on business goals, not on technology. Full compatibility enables simple database migration. Autonomous database has 2 flavors: autonomous transaction processing, ATP, and autonomous data warehouse, ADW. In the next few slides, you can see a few use cases per autonomous database flavor. For this workshop, we want to use autonomous transaction processing, particularly referring to departmental or mission-critical applications use case. That brings us to the next point, low-code development technology, that we will use to create these departmental or mission-critical applications. Application Express. Oracle Apex definition: a high-productivity, low-code development platform for business analysts and low-code developers to easily build scalable and secure data-driven web applications. Oracle Apex runs anywhere that Oracle database runs, whether it's on-premise, cloud, or anywhere else. As part of this workshop, we will create tables on Apex using QuickSQL, a new capability of Apex. You will use it as part of lab number 2. These tables will be stored on our ATP database. They will be used by Apex and can be consumed as REST services, thanks to our Oracle REST Data Services, ORDS for short, as part of our database capabilities. ORDS provides an HTTPS interface for working with the content of REST-enabled schemas, as you can check in the diagram. As a recap of this part of the workshop, in lab number 1, you will create an autonomous database, ATP. As part of lab number 2, you will firstly create an Apex workspace, where later on you will create an application. You will use QuickSQL Apex capability to create tables easily and fast. And on the last part of lab number 2, you will use RESTful services to register your Apex schema on ORDS. We can offer a REST API of the tables that you already created. All the best with the labs! Hi again. So now we come to lab number 1 and number 2. You can access to the content following the bit.ly link that you can see in the slide or scan the QR code. There you have the exercises that you will follow today. For those who have not completed the prerequisites, please start signing up for your Oracle Cloud free tier section now. Please remember that you sign up for an Oracle cloud account and you will need a valid cell phone for SMS verification, as well as a credit card to verify your account, but you not will be charged unless you upgrade after your 30-day trial period has ended. Please follow the prompts in the sign-up process. For those that have been already registered for this event, you will not need to do the verification part. If you have any problem, please post us a question in the Q&A section and we will help you. For those that already have completed the prerequisite, please go to lab number 1, create autonomous database directly, and after complete lab number 2, create Apex workshop and REST API. Just a reminder to post any questions in the Q&A section and one of our panelists will answer. This exercise will take about 20 minutes, so see you live in 20. Hi again, guys. I hope those that haven't finished it before have time to catch up. I want to keep moving for those that already finished it, that you did a very good job. So let's move on. For those that haven't finished it, now we will cover digital assistant. On the following labs, we cover provisional digital assistant, implementing custom components and creating digital assistant skills. But let's first have a look at the video of the different steps that you will do on the next 3 labs. The next video will be presented by Victor Martin, Principal Cloud Engineer, and will take about 4 minutes. So see you live in 4.
Welcome to labs number 3, 4, and 5 of this workshop. Let me guide you through some of the concepts around digital assistant and the integration with RESTful services. What is a digital assistant? Until now, chatbots solve simple business problems like customer service automation or self-service functions, but digital assistants are user-oriented. They assist users with various related or unrelated tasks. Conversations are context-aware, and assistants learn about the user. Digital assistant is the future of chatbots. Although digital assistants are just a computer program that use artificial intelligence and machine learning to combine independent chatbots into a single conversational interface, it assists real users with a natural conversation to help them throughout their day. Oracle Digital Assistant is Oracle's second-generation intelligent bot platform for you to build composite chatbot solutions from independent skills. Why conversational experiences? Because it is easier. As a natural conversation, there is no special interface to learn. Websites, mobile apps, you have to get used to the user interface. With a bot, what you need to learn, you know it already. Unlike most mobile apps, there is no download. You can access a bot through a text-based app you are already using, like Slack, WhatsApp, Microsoft Teams, Facebook Messenger, and voice speakers like Amazon Echo or Google Home. It is always available, ready to have a conversation 24/7. It brings you more channels, text, voice, or anything you want, and just in one single interface. You can integrate with backend apps reusing Oracle pre-built integrations with SaaS applications. But you can also build your own integrations with custom components, as we will do in lab number 4. Custom components are used to integrate remote services and allow you to integrate custom code logic into a bot conversation. Think of custom components as equivalent of libraries in Java that you can reuse during your development. Oracle provides a Node.js SDK, a free library that makes custom component development and deployment very easy. You can deploy your custom components remotely or locally, depending on your needs. Any application can be integrated with a digital assistant. The skills define the conversation flow. The interaction between user and skills results in the completion of a task. User messages are interpreted by a trained model to discover what is the intention of the user and what relevant information user message contains. Oracle gives you pre-built skills that you can reuse, or you can build your own skills. Oracle Digital Assistant channels support popular conversation channels, but it is open and agnostic, so you can integrate your own messaging system as well. To recap, we are going to work on labs number 3, 4, and 5. We are going to create an Oracle Digital Assistant instance. We are also going to implement an integration with RESTful services through a custom component. And finally, we are going to reuse that custom component on a brand new skill for your digital assistant. Enjoy!
Hi again. Now we come to lab number 3, 4, and 5. For those that have already completed lab number 1 and 2, you can go ahead with lab number 3, where you will create an Oracle Digital Assistant. In lab number 4, you will implement custom components, and lab number 5, you will create a digital assistant skill. Just a reminder to post any question in the Q&A section, and one of our panelists will answer. These 3 exercises together will take approximately 50 minutes. We will check on you in about 10 minutes after finishing lab number 3. For those that finish lab number 3, you can go ahead and move on to lab number 4 and 5. We are just checking with you in approximately 10 minutes after lab number 3 to check if you need more time for lab number 3 or we can move on. So enjoy lab number 3 and see you live in 10. Hello again. Now we come to lab number 4 and number 5. But before, as we did before, we will launch a poll to check if you have finished lab number 3. So as I mentioned before, right, today's session will be until 5. So we still have 1 hour and 7 minutes. So if you haven't finished lab 3, don't worry. You can keep working at your own pace. For those that already finished it, we will move on to lab number 4. But remember, just work at your own pace. We will here to support you. For those that already completed lab number 3, you can go to lab number 4, implement custom components, and lab number 5, create digital assistant skills. Just a reminder to post any questions in the Q&A section, and one of our panelists will answer. The next 2 exercises should take about 40 minutes. So we will check on you in about 20 to see if you have finished lab number 4. If you finish number 4, you can move on to lab number 5. But before we go to lab number 4, Victor will share best practices to help you a bit with the rest of the labs. Victor, over to you.
Thank you, Priscilla. I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to walk you through some of the steps. Basically, what I want to talk is briefly about lab 4 and lab 5. Basically, because they are a little bit more technical, and I want just to help a little bit. In any case, if there is any question, please let us know in the Q&A, and we'll be happy to help. So one of the steps, the step 1 in lab 4, is the one that is going to require you to have Node installed. So I'm going to do it on my terminal. So I'm going to copy this first command that you have to run, and I'm going to paste it in my terminal. So basically, I have here an empty folder, and I'm going to run it. This is going to download the Oracle Bot Node SDK. Basically, it's like a framework for you to build custom components. And as you will learn during the lab, custom components are the ones that help you to push the information, to retrieve the information from third parties, and so on. With REST APIs, super simple. And basically, now the next step, as all of this is done, we will have a new folder. That folder is called tasks CC. We can step into that. Very good. And now we can follow the steps. So we got that. We are going to step in that folder, as I did, and we are going to install another library that is needed. So I'm going to copy that step that is going to install node fetch dependency. All good. And at this stage, we are going to modify one of the files. I'm going to use the terminal for that, but you can use any editor that you like, any code editor. So in that case, what we are going to replace is my custom component for task CC. So we are going to edit a file called package.json, and we will find that name, the property name, is going to have my custom component, and what we need is task CC, and then we save the file. As soon as that file is modified, we can continue with the next of the steps. That basically is just edit the task.js. You can either download the code, so I recommend you to open in a new tab, as I can do here. That is the code that you have to copy and paste, or you can copy from here. Just remember not to copy any ghost character or anything that is not in this file. This code is important that you stick with this. For example, in my case, it's kind of awkward with my mouse, so I can go here and copy the code. Let's see if I can manage to copy code. No, I'm not. There, okay. And then let's come back to the terminal or your editor, and you can edit components task.js. That is the file, the JavaScript file that you have to edit. So what I'm going to do is to delete all of this, because we are going to replace that with the full code that we copy from the lab. So I'm going to insert this code. Let me just make sure that I did it properly. And as soon as that happens, let me just, I think I copy and paste twice. Okay, very good. And now the next step would be to edit that file. And we need the URL, the specific URL for your instance in Apex. So for that, we will go to Apex. And in Apex, I will select SQL Workshop, RESTful Services. And this is something that you create on lab number 2. So you will go to the modules, the module that you created, com, example, ODA, the task, template, the get handler, and then we copy that full URL. Everything is explained on the labs, so no big deal. And in that case, we are going to edit again the components task file. And you will see that in the 5th line, you will have this URL. We have to put that URL here. So we delete everything, and between the double quotation, we paste that URL and we save the file. After that, we can come back to the instructions and we can do the last step. That is the npm pack. This is going to grab all of this code and get it ready for you in a compressed format that is going to have that format, that name, task cc version 1 tgset. And you can test that everything works just by having that file. I also want to mention another step in lab 5. In lab 5, we are going to create intents. Okay, so for that, I have to go to my digital assistance instance, and I'm going to show you one that I already have created, but also we are going to create the second one. So if I go to my digital assistant and I go to intents, that is this one, the first intents, I have already created the greeting. That is the first one you have to create. Okay, and this is very important. So you modify the name, you put greeting, you follow the steps, greeting here as well. And in this step, you can put utterances. So basically it's ways to express the same concept. It could be hello, it could be hi, it could be hi, amigo. And when you enter a new one, you just click enter. And that will add that to the list. So this is different ways to say the same thing. So our human nature can express the same thing in different ways. So this is your way to help digital assistant to understand different ways to say the same concept, the same intent. You have to do the same with the list of tasks. So if you go here, you will find that greeting that you can paste here, hello and hi, and then you create a new one. So for that, you click on create intent, and then you will have a new row in this column. And in this case, we are going to edit those and put the different ways to express the same concept. So you have all the information, make sure you copy and paste. Just make sure this is really important. So just make sure that when you create a new intent, as I'm going to do here with you, I replace these values and this one, and make sure that you copy and paste from the labs, because this is something that is also used in other places. It's used on the flows. So I know it's a lot of concepts and the lab is walking you through all the steps, but in flows, you have to replace all of this. So you can Control A or Command A if you are in Mac, select everything, delete everything, and there is also a step where you have to put everything together, and one of the steps is to download a file. You can open in a new tab, as I'm doing here, and this one will be a YAML file that you can select, copy, and paste on the intent. How you are sure you have done all of these steps properly? Well, you have a validate button here in the corner. So you click validate, and if you have done everything, you will receive that tick. If you receive a red mark with an error, make sure the intents are properly created. So you have a greeting and a list tasks. And that is all. The rest is very simple. If you have any question, let us know on the Q&A. And Priscilla, you can take over the presentation.
Thank you so much, Victor. I hope was very clear for everyone. I know it sounds very confusing, but as soon as you follow all the steps, you will be fine. I am sure that the tips that Victor gave us are very useful for all of us to keep working in the labs. Thank you, Victor. So as we mentioned, right, now it's time to do lab number 4. And as I mentioned before, right, if you finish lab number 4, please go ahead and do lab number 5. We will just check on you in around 20 minutes to be sure that you are completing all the labs and you are not lost. So all the best for lab number 4 and 5 if you want to go ahead, and see you live in 20. Hi again. So now we are going to the final lab of the event today, but lab number 5. But before that, let's see how are you keeping, guys, and if you have finished as well lab number 4 with another poll to check how are you keeping. So that poll is to check if you have finished lab number 4. So looks like pretty much everyone have finished it. Just a few people haven't finished and is still finishing lab number 4. For those that haven't finished it, as I said before, right, don't worry, we will be here until 5, so you are plenty of time to finish the exercises and work at your own pace. So the last final exercise is lab number 5, guys. For those is create digital assistant skill and putting everything together that we created this afternoon together. So again, as a reminder, if you have any questions, please post them in the Q&A section and one of our panelists will answer. So the final exercise will take approximately 20 minutes. So see you live in 20 for the recap and next steps. So enjoy the last exercise. See you now in 20. Hello all, welcome back. If you did not complete lab 5, that's okay. Please work on that on your own pace. I will start the last poll for today. Please provide your feedback about the workshop scoring, if you like it or you would like to recommend it. That will be very useful for us to know if you would like to attend or you would like to recommend this poll to someone else. So let's wait a few seconds to get the poll launched. There you are. So the scoring is from 0 to 10. So please provide that information for us. That will be very useful. In the meantime that you vote, that again will be very appreciated, and we can adjust and improve our workshops for next times. Let's wait a few more seconds so we get the poll answer and then I can move on. Thank you for your feedback. Very, very appreciated. Just to recap, guys, we have covered on today's workshop how provision autonomous databases instances, provision Apex, use Qt SQL, and create RESTful services. Additionally, we have provision digital assistant, implemented custom components, and create digital assistant skills. So I hope you enjoyed the session and feel free to ask questions on the Q&A. We will be here still until 5. Before you go, I would like to show you 2 things. So for those that haven't finished it or have any questions or any concerns or any doubts about the workshop, in the guidance that you are following today, at the very bottom, in every section, you have need your help. So you can contact us in this live lab support forum, and then you can ask questions and share concerns or doubts or issues about the content. And that will be very appreciated for us because we can get improving the content. So whatever you need here in the need help section, you can post your questions there. Additionally, and before we go, this is the end of the workshop, and I said we will be here still another 14 minutes to answer your questions. For those that have finished, thanks again for attending our Extend Your Application with Advanced Chatbots workshop. For those that still have questions, we will be available in the Q&A. You can see here as well a few links where you can find additional information, and please follow us in social media. Additionally, I want to thank all of you for joining our session, and as well to all the speakers. Thank you, Victor, and thank you all the support group for the event. Thank you so much for attending, and again, your feedback is really appreciated. We will be here until 5:30, so have a good evening and see you soon, guys. And thank you again for attending our event.